this new bill actually does pass the Jimmy Kimmel test, but it did for Jimmy Kimmel.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, hot and humid for today with partial sunshine, the high 91, clear low 73 tonight. Tomorrow, a little sun and a pop-up thunderstorm, high again 91. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Bill Degger.
Sound, please. Thank you. Good morning. It's 3 past 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock.
Wow.
I know. What happened to the 6 o'clock hour?
We were so great, you missed it.
Oh, my gosh. Let's syndicate this show. 3 past 6, Robert and Erin, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Local news up next.
Jimmy Kimmel launching an assault on Senator Bill Cassidy. We'll talk about that. Higher taxes in Bossier City. And Ollie wins a round in court.
Speaking of Bill Cassidy, you down at your end of the Gopher Shape broadcast table, you've had plenty of time to not only hear a couple or three times yesterday's Cassidy interview, but think about a lot of the things he said. And we must discuss that, and I want to get your opinion. Plus Fletcher in sports and traffic and weather, and it's all this hour, and it's right here on Keel.
KEEL Morning Report. Now on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Hurricane Maria has weakened to a Category 4 storm as it roars toward Puerto Rico. The storm threatening to decimate the power company's crumbling infrastructure in that country. Jimmy Kimmel launched an assault on Louisiana Senator Bill Cassidy during his TV show last night. Kimmel says Senator Cassidy's new health care bill is a bad bill, and he says Cassidy lied to his face.
There's a new Jimmy Kimmel test for you. It's called the lie detector test. You're welcome to stop by the studio and take it anytime.
Kimmel says Cassidy promised protections for people with pre-existing conditions and also promised lower premiums, but he says these are not part of Cassidy's new bill. Bossier City, in an attempt to avoid a huge budget crisis, has voted to increase property taxes in the city. It means residents will look at an increase of $4.40 for every $100,000 of your property's value. The increase goes into effect as soon as November. The increase should generate an additional $260,000 in property tax revenues next year. The mayor wins in court. Matt Parker explains.
A Caddo district judge has dismissed businessman Scott Pernice's defamation lawsuit against Shreveport Mayor Ollie Tyler. Last year, Tyler said that Pernice was attempting to get money from the city for not exposing the city's water billing issues. She went on to say that she would not allow Shreveport to be extorted or blackmailed. Pernice sued the city for attempting to make him look like a criminal. However, a judge has dismissed that suit and ordered Pernice to pay over $18,000 for the city's attorney fees related to the case. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
The people of Shreveport making a push to make our city safer. Once a month, community members are meeting to discuss ways to cut down on violence and make our neighborhoods a safer place to be. The group is working hand in hand with Shreveport Police to make the communities of Allendale, Ledbetter Heights, Lakeside, and surrounding areas safer for the public. The group meets on the third Tuesday of every month. A teacher has been arrested for indecent behavior with a minor. Logan Procell, a teacher in DeSoto Parish, accused of allegedly engaging in illegal activity with a minor. The Sabine Parish Sheriff's Office, State Police, and the FBI began investigating Procell after authorities in Massachusetts contacted Sabine Parish officials about questionable interactions between Procell and a juvenile in their community. Louisiana Senator John Kennedy calling for tax cuts on the middle class. Kennedy says now is the time since federal revenues are at an all-time high.
You think America's broke? Between October 2016 and January 2017, the U.S. Treasury set a brand new tax revenue record, $1 trillion. And a lot of that money came out of the hides of ordinary people.
Kennedy says tax cuts are the biggest way we can jumpstart our economy. Caddo DA James Stewart wants to turn a closed school in Shreveport into a juvenile justice service center for the parish. Stewart wants to consolidate and move several departments, including child support and truancy, into the former Alexander Learning Center in the Highland community. More jobs are coming to town. Alrika, one of the largest providers of customer service jobs in the country, will bring nearly 500 part-time work-at-home jobs to our area. The official announcement taking place today, and a job fair will be held tomorrow from 10 to 4 at the Northwest Louisiana Technical College on North Market. The Louisiana Association of Educators says a poll of Louisiana parents finds that 65% believe that our state places too much emphasis on student testing. LAE President Debbie Moe says parents and their children are not excited about filling out bubbles on a test.
LAE believes that we should be focusing more on teaching our children to love learning. That in itself cannot be measured by any kind of a standardized test.
A New Mexico man faces charges after police say he randomly slapped a customer, then stole the man's green chili cheeseburger before running off. Partly cloudy today, 91 for the high. Right now, 75. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Good morning. It's 9 past 6 o'clock. It's 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. I got the time right. Ruben for Wednesday morning. Starting us off, here's traffic.
I-20 eastbound's got to clear all the way to Monroe right now, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-49 north near Kings Highway. If you have anything to report to us, accidents, hazards, or closures, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Hot and humid for today with partial sunshine. The high 91. Clear low 73 tonight. Tomorrow, a little sun and a pop-up thunderstorm. High again 91. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Bill Degger.
Plan would do that too. He said all this on television many times. It protects Americans from these caps. They can pay out. So, for instance, if your son has to have 3 open heart surgeries, it can cost hundreds of thousands of dollars apiece. If he hits his lifetime cap of, let's say, $1 million, the rest of his life, he's on his own. Now, our current plan protects Americans. Current plan on his own. Now, our current
Good morning. It's 12 past 6 o'clock. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty at 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. If you want to listen on the Keel app, it's a free download presented by Office Furniture Source.
It's awesome.
I mean, the Kimmel deal on where he beats up Kennedy, where he beats up Cassidy for six and a half minutes long. And we can play bits and pieces all morning. We can run through the whole thing, except it's 6.5 minutes long.
We'll play a hunk of it.
And what he says basically on his show last night. See, Jimmy Kimmel has a daughter. Fill me in, Parky.
Son.
With
a heart condition.
Okay. And
Tell me. Had to have open heart surgeries and lots of stuff like that. So he had Cassidy on his show a few months back, where Cassidy was telling him about his bill, and he said that it would promise protections for people with pre-existing conditions, promised lower premiums, and also promised no lifetime cap.
So basically,
he says Cassidy's bill now, his new bill, doesn't do any of that.
I don't recall, first of all, that Jimmy Kimmel, who is obviously a Democrat, obviously leans to the left.
Of course.
I don't remember him ever trashing Barack Obama about Obamacare on his TV show. Remember, all of this exists. Everything, the world, the medical, the healthcare world as it exists today exists because of Barack Obama and the Democrats. It's just a question of how are we going to fix it. I think you'll agree with me.
Sure.
The point I made yesterday. None of this really, really, really in the end is about insurance. It is about health care and people getting health care. But it's really about getting health care for free. And here's what I mean. You've got people who can pay and people who can't.
Right.
So in the end, all this is about is how are the people who pay going to pay for the people who can't. That's really, in the end, are we going to continue to run it through the insurance companies and add another layer of bureaucracy? Are you going to let the government do it and add layers and layers and layers of inefficiency and fraud and waste?
I want less government.
Well, then you tell me what your suggestion would be. Because, look, you and I, and this sort of ties into the Confederate monument thing. Because I said about the Confederate monuments forever. If you're a real small government Republican or small government libertarian, then really shouldn't every community decide at the most local level what they want to do with their Confederate monuments?
I think a local decision is a good idea.
On the Andy Griffith TV show, Mayberry had a Civil War cannon. If Mayberry wants to get rid of the Civil War cannon, that is up to them. Should Andy and Barney, should they all be intimidated by Antifa who are going to come to Mayberry in March and not eat Aunt Bee's pickles because they're afraid they're going to burn down Mayberry? No. But at a local level, if you believe in small government, then maybe each little community should decide.
But you have to think about this. Governor John Bel Edwards came out against the Cassidy bill yesterday, and he said,
of course,
it will leave more than 400,000 people
we talked about this yesterday.
Without coverage.
Okay, stop a second.
They're in the Medicaid expansion program.
First of all, I didn't finish the first part, but that doesn't matter. We can always come back. Okay, remember, let's say you can't pay for your health care.
Gotcha.
Okay.
I need Medicaid.
You need somebody else to pay. Does it matter whether or not you're insured?
No.
Then what different than if all these people are going to be uninsured and they're the ones who don't pay? What difference does it make who pays for it and how? Don't you see that's such a Potemkin village of an argument. If Erin's not going to pay, if Erin, pardon me, that's not fair. If Erin can't pay,
right?
Then if Erin can't pay, what?
Then Erin's going to go to the emergency room when I have a stubbed toe. I'm not going to go to Quick Care and pay my $100.
That hasn't changed at all.
It has.
No, we got the emails, we got the texts yesterday from the emergency room nurses.
I know.
But in the end, the people who cannot pay, this is about figuring out an efficient and, dare I say, and we haven't even touched on pre-existing conditions yet.
Yeah, but the 400,000 people in Louisiana who would lose their coverage.
Erin, stop.
Let me finish my point now.
Okay.
A lot of them don't live in a community like Shreveport that has a free hospital. They live in the boonies where there's no access to you have to drive all the way to Shreveport to get medical care.
If you are an illegal alien, an illegal immigrant who has entered in Texas and you're on your way to Tennessee,
right?
And you need an appendix in Louisiana and you stagger into an emergency room, they don't turn you away. That's the whole point. This is what all this is about. The people who
if they've lost their Medicaid coverage, they will turn them away. They have no Medicaid.
Erin, if you're in an emergency room and you're dying, they don't turn you away.
Well, I understand that.
Okay, that's the whole point.
But that's not what all these 430,000 people will need. They're going to need medical care of some sort.
It's about the most efficient way to pay for them.
Yes.
And would you argue, I don't think you can make the argument, that funneling this massive medical welfare program through insurance companies is a terribly efficient way of doing it.
It's not.
We've proven over the last 8 years that it's not.
It's not.
19 past 6 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Traffic's coming up. How's about right now? Here's Ruben.
Everything's still running nice and smooth for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-220 eastbound near North Market due to construction. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast is a hot and humid one over the next few days as we close out the summer with highs in the 90s. Partly sunny 91 today. Clear tonight, low 73. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Bill Decker.
21 past 6 o'clock, time for KEEL Sports.
Good morning. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher. The Texas Rangers had a good night. Not only did they knock off Seattle 3-1, but the two teams ahead of them for the last wild card slot lost, pushing Texas within 3.5 games of a playoff spot with 12 games to play. Carlos Gomez came off the shelf and started an 8th-inning rally with a leadoff double. Shin Soo Choo broke a 1-1 tie with a sacrifice fly, and Elvis Andrus capped off the effort with a run-scoring single. Martin Perez started, pitched well, lasted 6 innings. Tony Barnett earned the win. Alex Claudio picked up the save. The AL West champion Astros continued their hot streak with a 3-1 win over the White Sox. Houston's 5th win in a row also keeps them a game and a half behind Cleveland for home field advantage in the American League playoffs. Jose Altuve homered, and former LSU star Alex Bregman had an RBI double to stoke the offense. Colin McHugh making his first start in 11 days after ripping a fingernail off his pitching hand on September 8th. Ouch. Worked 5 innings to get the win. Darius Geist missed his second straight practice with what Ed Orgeron termed a minor injury at the beginning of the week. LSU tries to rebound from Saturday's stunner in Starkville with a triumphant flogging of Syracuse in 3 days. Richard Lawrence returned to practice and worked out in full pads as a sophomore defensive end tries to return to the field after suffering an ankle injury in the opener against BYU. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
Okay, so I don't know how many Kohl's stores in Shreveport, Bossier. 1017 FM, 710 KEEL, Robert and Aaron. 2, 3. I don't
There's
know.
one in Shreveport. Is there one in Bossier?
I don't believe so, but I don't know. I don't
there's
go
one in
shopping.
Shreveport, yeah.
82 Kohl's stores across the country, and I would imagine this is their version of test marketing.
Mm-hmm.
82 Kohl's stores across the country are going to act as return joints for Amazon.
It's genius. It's brilliant.
Now, the fact that you think that it's a great idea, I can dismiss summarily. But the fact that Matt, right after you, said that it's a really, really good idea.
It truly is brilliant.
So both of you, Erin, you first, and then Matt, explain to me why Kohl's doing this. So if I've got now I honestly, I get some stuff on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not an Amazon junkie.
Oh, yeah.
And honestly, I've never returned anything that I've purchased on Amazon. So is Amazon always free return?
Yeah, typically. Well, I'm Amazon Prime, so yeah, for me.
Okay, see, I'm not Amazon. I'm
Well,
not Amazon Prime.
It's always free returns, but then you have to box it up. It's a whole pain in the
So
keys.
they're going to basically act as the FedEx or the UPS.
Yes.
With retail goods. So explain to me how Kohl's doing this is a good idea.
Well, Kohl's, if I grace the doors, I typically will buy something. I'll see something and go, oh, I need that. I forgot I need that. I need that makeup, or I need those shoes, or I need that shirt.
So that's the theory.
Yeah, so you're going to come in the store.
To
And
create-
Kohl's is always running these promotions about if you spend $50, you get a $20 gift certificate. And so they try to get you to come back, and they do those all the time.
What percentage of well, it doesn't really matter, because if you've got a zillion people shopping on Amazon, if 1/4, 1/8, 1/16 of those send something back, it's going to increase store traffic.
Of course it will increase store traffic. And if it's women, when they walk in a door of a store like Kohl's, they typically will realize they need something.
A rather ugly stereotypical remark from her end. What do you think?
I agree. I hate the sound like one of those male chauvinists or Erin, but this isn't for you and I, Robert. This is for the women like Erin who are like, well, I don't have a box handy. I don't have this. I'll just go take it to Kohl's. They'll handle my business for me. And then, let's say you buy a purse on Amazon, and all of a sudden you get to Kohl's, and they have the big rack set up when you're walking through to the customer service area.
So back to my initial point, it's really, when I want to send something back, a pair of shoes, when I mail out a watch, something like that, I just go to the UPS store there at Online Avenue, and I give it to my boy Daniel, and he takes care of it. Now, there's a fee involved for boxing that thing up. They're going to send this back. They're going to take care of all the work for you.
Yeah.
Gratis, free. Thanks for coming in. Now go buy something.
I think it's free, and they're going to take care of everything you need done. And by the time you get out of the store, I bet 90% of the people will have bought something.
You agree? You think it's a good move?
I do. Plus, Erin was talking about the KEEL, or not KEEL Cash, Kohl Cash
deal.
Yeah. Where if you spend X amount, they'll give you gift cards. What you're asking, off the air, how that works. It's really genius because something like 65% or 70% of gift cards go unused.
See, here was what I asked during the break when you talked about the $20 gift card for $50 spent.
Sure.
And I said, wait a second. How does any retail outlet survive giving back 40% of its profits? And Matt said, they don't. I said, what do you mean? And you explained.
Well, like I said, most gift cards, gift certificates go unused.
When you say most, you mean more than half?
More than half.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have the stats in front of me.
Seriously?
Yeah. So that's why people are always pushing gift cards during the holiday time, because people give them as gifts and then never use them. So basically, Best Buy or Kohl's or wherever is getting a free $100 for not giving you anything but a 25-cent piece of plastic.
But they don't like people like me, because I'll have to spend, say I want to go get new bras, okay, and I'm going to spend $100 on bras.
Yeah.
Okay, just work with me here.
Okay.
I'll go in and I'll buy my one $50 bra. I'll get my $20 coupon. I'll go put that bra in the car, and I'll come back in and buy my other bra.
Usually there's like a 30 or 45.
A lot of them have you got to come back next week on them. So you got to watch for that too, because it'll be like you can't use it now. You got to wait.
And that's part of the genius. They know once you leave, there's a good chance you're going to lose it or misplace it. But in your brain, you have a gift card. So you go back to the store, and guess what? Well, I don't have the gift card, but I got a whole cart full of crap.
I use them. They lose money on me.
And unworn bras.
Oh, yeah.
29 past 6.
You need one?
1017, not till Friday. 1017 F, no hockey this weekend. Get me my women's underwear. 629, it's 1017 FM and 710 Keel. Okay, so both senators from Louisiana in the news. Cassidy and the health care bill, which people actually say has a chance. Meh. And now John Kennedy is in the news. But next, what's the latest on corporate realty and the Pelicans and Ollie Tyler and everybody down at City Hall? 629 traffic update right now. Here's Ruben on Keel.
Everything's still running nice and smooth for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-220 eastbound near North Market due to construction. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast is a hot and humid one over the next 2 days as we close out the summer with highs in the 90s. Partly sunny 91 today. Clear tonight, low 73. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Bill Decker.
information. KEEL News now.
Jimmy Kimmel strikes out against Louisiana Senator Bill Cassidy.
This new bill actually does pass the Jimmy Kimmel test, but a different Jimmy Kimmel test. With this one, your child with a pre-existing condition will get the care he needs if and only if his father is Jimmy Kimmel. Otherwise, you might be screwed.
Kimmel says Cassidy lied to his face during a recent appearance on his show. A Caddo district judge has dismissed businessman Scott Pernice's defamation suit against Mayor Tyler. Last year, Tyler said Pernice was attempting to get money from the city for not exposing the water billing issues. She went on to say she would not allow Shreveport to be extorted or blackmailed. Pernice sued for attempting to make him look like a criminal. However, a judge dismissed that suit and has now ordered Pernice to pay more than $18 grand for the city's attorney's fees. Property taxes going up in Bossier. Matt Parker with that.
Bossier City, in an attempt to avoid a huge budget crisis, has voted to increase property taxes in the city. The city has increased millages from 22.92 to 23.36, which means residents will be looking at an increase of $4.40 for every $100,000 of their property's value. The increase will go into effect as soon as November. The increase should generate an additional $260,000 in property tax revenue in 2018. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
While we're talking taxes, Senator John Kennedy says it's time for middle-class tax cuts.
The middle class, the ordinary people of America, have made virtually no progress. And they have every right to be angry about that, because it has been 16 years since President Bush's tax cuts, since the middle class has gotten a tax break.
Kennedy wants to double the federal tax exemptions, which will let you keep more of your money. The senator says this will pump billions back into our economy. The people of Shreveport making a push to make our city safer. Community members are meeting once a month to talk about ways to cut down on violence and crime in our areas. A teacher has been arrested for indecent behavior with a minor. Logan Procell, who teaches in DeSoto Parish, has been arrested for allegedly engaging in illegal activity with a minor. Caddo DA James Stewart wants to turn a closed school in Shreveport into a juvenile justice service center. Stewart wants to consolidate and move several departments, including child support and truancy, into the former Alexander Learning Center in Highland. Currently, all of those departments are located in different buildings in different parts of the city. The Louisiana Association of Educators says a poll of Louisiana parents finds that 65% believe the state places too much emphasis on student testing. LAE President Debbie Moe says the survey also found 55% of respondents believe a student's test performance shouldn't play a major role in determining a teacher's effectiveness. Moe says a new 25-member panel will meet to examine whether public school students are over-tested.
What kind of testing is actually taking place and how much of that testing takes and how much of it is really actually efficient testing of the standards that the kids are learning.
More jobs are coming to the area. Alarica, one of the largest providers of customer service jobs in the country, is bringing nearly 500 part-time work-at-home jobs to our community. The official announcement is happening today, and there'll be a job fair tomorrow from 10 to 4 at the Northwest Louisiana Technical College on Market Street. Police say a drunken Pennsylvania man who didn't want to drink alone forced his way into a woman's home and sat down with two 12-packs of beer. Sean Haller of Stewartston now faces a list of charges. Partly cloudy today, 91 for the high, right now 75. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
If he hits his lifetime cap of, let's say, $1 million, the rest of his life, he's on his own. Now, our
It is 636, 1017 FM and 710 Keel. Shreveport Security Systems text line is 318 392 1884. That's 318 392 1884. Okay, so you sent an email, an official Erin McCarty email to the mayor's office yesterday, and well, read the email and then the response.
Yeah, I sent the mayor's office an email asking. Let's see, I pulled up the wrong one here. I asked essentially if someone from the city could do an interview with us to give us an update on the corporate realty deal and the Pelicans deal.
Just sort of the chain of command we go through anytime we want the mayor on.
Yes, exactly. And I got a response back that said nothing has changed since our last interview with the mayor.
So you want to know what?
I wanted to know, A, has Shreveport withdrawn our proposal to be home for the G League team? Because all other cities withdrew their proposals except Shreveport and Pensacola.
Even if Shreveport has, and I've asked everybody this, and what I said was, did we in our presentation, i.e. the mayor, etc., did they hang their hats too heavily on, we got to have a new arena? Because by implication, you're saying, we don't have a good arena now for you guys to play in. So basically, if you haven't officially withdrawn your proposal, have you really sort of done it anyway because you're not going to build a new arena?
Well, I asked if you have not withdrawn your proposal, what are our options now? And the official reply was, "Hi, Erin, we have no new information since the mayor's interview last week. So I don't know if we've withdrawn, if we've not withdrawn,
Now,
if the Pelicans are looking at other alternatives here in town."
Pensacola, look, the Toronto Raptors G League team, you know where they play?
No.
Toronto.
Oh, okay.
And they're named after the area, whatever the Canadian area code. Like it would be calling it, if it were in Shreveport, it would be like the 318 Raptors. Okay? Or the 318 Pelicans.
Right.
I'm thinking, it occurs to me, this team that is mandated by the NBA now, that the Pelicans have a G League. What's G stand for? 1, 2, 3. Gatorade.
Yeah.
That's the corporate deal. It may end up somewhere where it may end up at UNO Arena on the lakefront in New Orleans.
It could, absolutely.
Because Pensacola's got a bond issue very similar, similar to the one that we kind of turned down.
Well, except they're voting on it. We weren't going to vote on ours.
639, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Ruben's got the latest traffic. And, okay, just a couple of seconds away.
Ooh.
You got this Jimmy Kimmel thing.
Oh, yeah.
Where he busts on Bill Cassidy.
Man.
Okay, and we have kind of a, well, we'll explain it to you guys in a second. Here's Ruben.
It is once again the best time of day to get where you're going because everything is all clear for your early morning drive to work or school. But look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-20 westbound near Spring and Market. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast is a hot and humid one over the next 2 days as we close out the summer with highs in the 90s. Partly sunny 91 today. Clear tonight, low 73. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Bill Decker.
$1,000 a piece. If he hits his lifetime cap of, let's say, $1 million, the rest of his life, he's on his own. Now, our current plan protects Americans from these caps and prevents insurance. You guys are going to find this hard to believe, but a few months ago, after my son had open heart surgery, which was I know you guys are going to find this hard to
Okay, so this is like a YouTube video, so we can't really do a lot of editing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, Shreveport Security Systems. Text line is 318-392-1884. So we had Bill Cassidy, Senator Bill Cassidy, on yesterday.
Yes.
And the Graham Cassidy health care plan, which in its simplest form gives a whole ton of money to the states to let them do with it the way they want to do it.
Right.
That's kind of a good idea because it sort of not completely eliminates the federal government from the process, but at least sends it back to the states.
Yeah, the governor's not in favor of it because he says it cuts out 400,000 people who get Medicaid.
On the Democrat side, that's going to it's going to leave people uninsured argument is going to continually be made. Okay? In the end, and I've said this 1,000 times, in the end it comes down what all this is about. And I'm not minimizing the point. But at its core, it's about how are we Americans who can pay for insurance and health care.
Right.
What's the most efficient and economical way to pay for people who cannot? How should we do it? That includes people on Medicare and Medicaid and pre-existing conditions and everything else. Now, Cassidy talked to us, and he has on a number of occasions talked about the Jimmy Kimmel test. Explain to as we get ready to go to Kimmel.
Kimmel explains it.
Does he?
Yes,
okay,
absolutely.
So on Jimmy Kimmel last night, evidently Cassidy had been on a while back touting his Graham Cassidy health care.
He actually was on touting his prior plan. That's the thing Jimmy Kimmel doesn't tell you. So pay attention. He was on Kimmel talking about his earlier plan, not this existing one.
I know you guys are going to find this hard to believe, but a few months ago, after my son had open heart surgery, which was something I spoke about on the air, a politician, a senator named Bill Cassidy from Louisiana, was on my show, and he wasn't very honest. It seemed like he was being honest. He got a lot of credit and attention for coming off like a rare, reasonable voice in the Republican Party when it came to health care, for coming up with something he called, and I didn't name it this, he named it this, the Jimmy Kimmel test, which was, in a nutshell, no family should be denied medical care, emergency or otherwise, because they can't afford it. He agreed to that. He said he would only support a health care bill that made sure a child like mine would get the health coverage he needs no matter how much money his parents make. And that did not have annual or lifetime caps. These insurance companies, they want caps to limit how much they can pay out. So, for instance, if your son has to have 3 open heart surgeries, it can cost hundreds of thousands of dollars apiece. If he hits his lifetime cap of, let's say, $1 million, the rest of his life, he's on his own. Now, our current plan protects Americans from these caps and prevents insurance providers from jacking up the rates for people who have pre-existing conditions of all types. And Senator Cassidy said his plan would do that, too. He said all this on television many times.
As you present that, I asked, does it pass the Jimmy Kimmel test? Would the child born with a congenital heart disease be able to get everything she or he would need in that first year of life? I wanted to pass the Jimmy Kimmel test.
Okay, so last week, Bill Cassidy and Senator Lindsey Graham proposed a new bill, the Graham-Cassidy bill, and this new bill actually does pass the Jimmy Kimmel test, but a different Jimmy Kimmel test. With this one, your child with a pre-existing condition will get the care he needs if and only if his father is Jimmy Kimmel. Otherwise, you might be screwed. Now, I don't know what happened to Bill Cassidy, but when he was on this publicity tour, he listed his demands for a health care bill very clearly. These were his words. He said he wants coverage for all, no discrimination based on pre-existing conditions, lower premiums for middle-class families, and no lifetime caps. And guess what? The new bill does none of those things. Coverage for all? No. In fact, it'll kick about 30 million Americans off insurance. Pre-existing conditions? No. If the bill passes, individual states can let insurance companies charge you more if you have a pre-existing condition. You'll find that little loophole later in the document after it says they can't. They can and they will. But will it lower premiums? Well, in fact, for lots of people, the bill will result in higher premiums. And as far as no lifetime caps go, the states can decide on that too, which means there will be lifetime caps in many states. So not only did Bill Cassidy fail the Jimmy Kimmel test, he failed the Bill Cassidy test. He failed his own test. And you don't see that happen very much. This bill he came up with is actually worse than the one that, thank God, Republicans like Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski and John McCain torpedoed over the summer. And I hope they have the courage and good sense to do that again with this one, because these other guys who claim they want Americans to have better health care, even though 8 years ago they didn't want anyone to have health care at all, they're trying to sneak this scam of a bill they cooked up in without an analysis from the Bipartisan Congressional Budget Office. They don't even want you to see it. They're having one hearing. The hearings, I read the hearings being held in the Homeland Security Committee, which has nothing to do with health care, and the chairman agreed to allow 2 witnesses, Bill Cassidy and Lindsey Graham, to speak. So listen, health care is complicated. It's boring. I don't want to talk about it. The details are confusing, and that's what these guys are relying on. They're counting on you to be so overwhelmed with all the information, you just trust them to take care of you, but they're not taking care of you. They're taking care of the people who give them money, like insurance companies, and we're all just looking at our Instagram accounts and liking things while they're voting on whether people can afford to keep their children alive or not. Most of the Congress people who vote on this bill probably won't even read it, and they want us to do the same thing. They want us to treat it like an iTunes service agreement. And this guy, Bill Cassidy, just lied right to my face. Do you believe that every American, regardless of income, should be able to get regular checkups, maternity care, etc., all of those things that people who have health care get and need?
Yep.
So yep is Washington for no, I guess. And I never imagined I would get involved in something like this. This is not my area.
Fade Jimmy out. Fade Jimmy. Oh, so what do you think?
He, at the very end of this, he says, I have a new test for Senator Cassidy. It's called a lie detector test.
See, here's the deal.
Wow.
He said at the beginning he gives himself away, his political leaning, which is liberal. And he says, I thought he was a reasonable voice in the Republican Party, as though all other Republicans are unreasonable, which is not a fair thing to say. We'll get to that later.
Mm-hmm.
Then he talks about insurance company, those evil insurance companies and their caps. In Jimmy Kimmel's world, by the way, Jimmy Kimmel is worth $35 million. Okay,
Yep.
so for Jimmy Kimmel to complain about Jimmy Kimmel's health care costs, well, we'll get back to that too. Here's part of the problem. I said the biggest problem, I said we're running a massive welfare program through insurance companies, which are private businesses with employees and stockholders, and they have to pay them, and they have to try to make a profit to keep their doors open.
Sure.
The problem is, look, and when you get the caps, what he's saying is, well, we should just break the insurance companies. Look, we'll come back to this. We can still do your money now, okay? Did you take it out? Okay, we'll just dump it then. The point being, if you eliminate all caps on insurance companies and say you're just going to pay for everybody forever and ever, they're going to go out of business.
Well, the problem is you promised you weren't going to eliminate caps.
The problem,
and now you're changing. So what do we believe? What will change tomorrow? That's our issue.
The problem is, as I said yesterday, and about 50 times this morning, we're running a welfare program through a private business. As long as we do that, you are putting your arms open and you are standing in the HOV lane on 635 in Dallas and say, hit me.
Mm-hmm.
You are destined for disaster.
Oh, it's, we've got a mess. We've got a mess to unravel. And how long it's going to take and how we're going to do it is anybody's guess.
649, it's 101.7 FM and 710 Keel traffic update. Here comes Ruben. Hang on a second. Fletcher in Sports is next, but traffic time now.
I-20 eastbound's got to clear all the way to Monroe right now, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-49 north near Kings Highway. If you have anything to report to us, accidents, hazards, or closures, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, hot and humid for today with partial sunshine, the high 91. Clear low 73 tonight. Tomorrow, a little sun and a pop-up thunderstorm, high again 91. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Bill Degger.
It is 6:52. It's 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Time for sports.
Good morning. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher. The Texas Rangers had a good night. Not only did they knock off Seattle 3-1, but the two teams ahead of them for the last wild card slot lost, pushing Texas within 3.5 games of a playoff spot with 12 games to play. Carlos Gomez came off the shelf and started an 8-inning rally with a leadoff double. Shin Soo Choo broke a 1-1 tie with a sacrifice fly, and Elvis Andrus capped off the effort with a run-scoring single. Martin Perez started, pitched well, lasted 6 innings. Tony Barnett earned the win. Alex Claudio picked up the save. The AL West champion Astros continued their hot streak with a 3-1 win over the White Sox. Houston's 5th win in a row also keeps them a game and a half behind Cleveland for home field advantage in the American League playoffs. Jose Altuve homered, and former LSU star Alex Bregman had an RBI double to stoke the offense. Colin McHugh making his first start in 11 days after ripping a fingernail off his pitching hand on September 8th. Ouch. Worked 5 innings to get the win. Darius Geist missed his second straight practice with what Ed Orgeron termed a minor injury at the beginning of the week. LSU tries to rebound from Saturday's stunner in Starkville with a triumphant flogging of Syracuse in 3 days. Rashard Lawrence returned to practice and worked out in full pads as a sophomore defensive end tries to return to the field after suffering an ankle injury in the opener against BYU. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
It is 6:56, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. So you're trying to track down Mayor Walker from Bossier. What's the deal?
The property tax increases in Bossier, they're going up from 22.9 mils to 23.3 mils.
What does that mean? Do we know?
Yeah, it's essentially $4.40 for every 100,000 your house is worth.
What's this going to pay for? Do we know?
This going into the general fund. They're short of money, and part of the problem is the lower values of homes. Home value assessments have gone down.
See what we can find out and let you know more just after 7 o'clock. Right now, Rush Limbaugh on KEEL.
For the last 20 years, the whole world has been able to witness the destruction of Venezuela, and they did it to themselves. It used to be a stable, economically healthy democracy with oil behind the economy, and then Hugo Chavez came in and socialism, and in 20 years, the country is literally starving. Maduro is blaming Trump for this, not Hugo Chavez. You know why? Well, Trump put sanctions on him a month ago. That supposedly is an economic war. That doesn't explain 20 years of decline. Blaming Trump didn't solve the starvation problem either. So Maduro just announced a plan. In addition to telling his people to start growing food on their rooftops and their balconies, The government demands that citizens breed rabbits. That's right, rabbits. Venezuela's urban agriculture minister helped Maduro announce the rabbit plan. He said the country has a cultural problem because we've been taught that rabbits are cute pets. He said a rabbit is not a pet, it's a 5-pound piece of meat that's very high in protein with no cholesterol. So there you have it. The socialist Venezuelan government, self-destruction on parade, is now going to cure mass starvation caused by socialism by demanding their starving people breed and eat rabbits. Hey, Bugs, what's up, Doc?
Did you know that over 90% of male enhancement pills are virtually the same thing that's repackaged, redone over and over again? Why settle for the same old product when you can get something completely different? Something that takes male enhancement into the 21st century. Something that really works. Men, you need to try Noxitril, the explosive, all-natural male enhancement formula that will unlock your performance in the bedroom to a level you could only dream of. Try to imagine Viagra on steroids. Noxitril is so powerful, that's why it took years for it to finally become available to the public without a prescription. So call now and take advantage of our special Noxitril free bottle offer today. Oh yeah, we recommend that you use the Noxitril dose as directed. Think of your partner. We certainly don't want you to overperform in the bedroom.
Call now and find out how to get a free bottle of Noxitril while supplies last. Call 1-800-605-1673. Free bottles for a limited time, so call now. 800-605-1673. That's 800-605-1673.
Keeping an eye on some slow-moving traffic on Mansfield Road near Hollywood Avenue. And we're starting to see some traffic delays on Line Avenue near Stoner Avenue. If you know something we don't, accidents, hazards, or closures, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Here's your KeelAccuWeather.com forecast. Partly sunny today, low 90s once again. Right now, 75 at Keel, 7 o'clock, and time for Fox News.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. KEEL, Shreveport.
Louisiana Senator
But, Mr. President, when we're talking about tax reform, I think it's very important that we not forget that the primary vehicle, not the only vehicle, for economic growth in America is the middle class. Between October 2006, $1 trillion. And a lot of that money came out of the hides of ordinary people.
Think they could read my lips on the video just a second ago? Wow, there's a lawsuit. 1017 FM, 710 Keel, 3 past 7 o'clock. Robert and Erin, she has local news next.
Oh, Jimmy Kimmel is coming out swinging. We'll have more on that. Property taxes are going up a smidge in Bossier, and Senator Kennedy wants your taxes to go down.
Jimmy Kimmel is a limousine liberal who's complaining about his health care, and he's worth $35 million. We'll talk a little bit about that, too. Plus, the latest from the mayor. You're waving your hands. What?
And could Joe Oliva's job be at risk because of Coach O?
Fletcher in sports, traffic, and weather, and it's all coming up this hour right here on Keel.
Then it's time to put the king of clean to work for you. Go to JannyKing.com for any size business, big or small. No matter how big the mess is, Janny King can handle it. One of our offices is probably just minutes from yours. Go to JANIKing.com today and let us start cleaning for you tomorrow.
Janny King, the king of clean.
The Keel Morning Report. Now on 1017 FM and 710 Keel.
The gloves are off. Jimmy Kimmel is on the attack against Senator Bill Cassidy.
Now, I don't know what happened to Bill Cassidy, but when he was on this publicity tour, he listed his demands for a health care bill very clearly. These were his words. He said he wants coverage for all, no discrimination based on pre-existing conditions, lower premiums for middle-class families, and no lifetime caps. And guess what? The new bill does none of those things.
Kimmel invited Cassidy back on his show to take a lie detector test. Property taxes are going up in Bossier. The city, in an attempt to avoid a huge budget crisis, has voted to increase property taxes in the city. Now, it'll be about $4.40 more for every $100,000 of your property's value. The increase goes into effect as soon as November. Now, the increase would generate an additional $260,000 in revenues next year. Speaking of taxes, Senator John Kennedy wants to lower yours.
Most middle-class Americans get up every day, they go to work, they obey the law, they pay their taxes, they try to do the right thing by their kids, and they're falling further and further and further behind.
Kennedy wants to double the federal tax exemptions, which would mean you would get to keep more of your paycheck. More jobs are coming to town. Alarica, one of the largest providers of customer service jobs in the country, is bringing nearly 500 part-time work-at-home jobs to Shreveport. The official announcement happens today, and there'll be a job fair tomorrow from 10 to 4 at the Northwest Louisiana Technical College on Market Street. Residents uniting to discuss making Shreveport safer. Matt Parker with that.
The people of Shreveport are making a push to make the city a safer place. Once a month, members of the Shreveport Burn Community Justice Initiative meet to discuss ways to cut down on violence and make their community a safer place to be. The group works hand in hand with Shreveport Police to make the communities of Allendale, Ledbetter, Lakeside, and surrounding areas safer. The group meets on the third Tuesday every month. If you would like to participate in the discussion, call 673-7543. From 1017 FM and 710 Keel, I'm Matt Parker.
Caddo DA James Stewart wants to turn a closed school in our community into a juvenile justice service center for the Caddo Parish. Stewart wants to consolidate and move several departments, including child support and truancy, into the former Alexander Learning Center in the Highland area. Currently, all those departments are located in different buildings in different parts of the city. If the move is approved, renovations would be paid for by a nonprofit who mentors at-risk youth. Puerto Rico's governor says residents of the territory should brace for Hurricane Maria, which he warns could hit with a force and violence not seen in generations. After LSU's huge loss to Mississippi State, Some are wondering if head coach Ed Orgeron was the right man to choose for the job. But Tiger Rag editor Cody Worsham says one thing to keep in mind is that athletic director Joe Oliva's fate lies with the Board of Supervisors.
Joe Oliva has allies on the board. He cuts a check to them every year for several $1 million from the athletic department. I don't know if any other athletic directors in the country do that.
Worsham says right now it's a little too early to say if there'll be any changes in leadership in the athletic department, as there's only been one SEC game this season. But he says the hire of Coach O was strictly a call made by Oliva, and if things remain bleak, there will be consequences. Think twice before you click, and think more than twice if you plan to do an internet search for pop star Avril Lavigne. Her name has popped up as the #1 entry on an annual list of the most dangerous celebrities online. The list is compiled by the cybersecurity company McAfee. They say those searching for Lavigne run an increased risk of having their browser land on sites that carry viruses. The danger's even greater for those who try to score free music downloads. Other celebrities making the danger list: Bruno Mars, Celine Dion, Katy Perry, and Beyonce. Partly cloudy today, 91 for the high. Right now, 75. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Nine past 7 o'clock, KEEL traffic. Ruben's here.
The intersection at Kings Highway and Linwood Avenue is dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now, and we have some traffic delays on East Texas Street near Swan Lake Road in Bossier City. If you have any accidents, hazards, or closures to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, hot and humid for today with partial sunshine, the high 91. Clear low 73 tonight. Tomorrow, a little sun and a pop-up thunderstorm, high again 91. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Bill Degger.
You know how to
no progress. And they have every right to be angry about that, because it has been 16 years since President Bush's tax cuts, since the middle class has gotten a tax break. And that's why I wanted to. And now further and further and further behind.
Wow. I just...
What's wow?
I just never cease to be amazed. Every
By?
time, 1017 FM, 710 KEEL, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. You can download the KEEL app. It's pretty awesome and loud, and you can hear. It's just, the audio quality is pretty darn good, and is presented by Office Furniture Source.
It is absolutely amazing. By the way, today's code word is chair.
This is for the KEEL Win Cash.
Yeah.
You can go on the KEEL website, KEELnews.com, and win up to $5,000. Did you say chair?
Chair.
Chair. Okay.
Yeah.
As in.
I fell out of my chair and bumped my head.
Well, that clock's ticking. What I said was, every time I think that I cannot be even more amazed and stunned and flummoxed and nonplussed by LSU fans, I am even more amazed, stunned, flummoxed, and nonplussed by LSU fans.
Yes.
Okay? Look.
Oh.
Saturday was bad.
Oh, Robert, I don't even. Please, can we just?
Wait, stop. Saturday was bad. You lost 37-7 to Mississippi State. Okay? But just stop. And I want you to play the soundbite again.
Oh, man.
And read your news story. Would you describe, after one loss, what is Ed Orgeron as LSU head coach? Like what, 8-3?
I don't know.
What is he overall?
Something like that.
I apologize for not knowing. I think he's lost like 3 games. 2 last year, 1 this year.
Last year doesn't matter. He's 2-1.
Stop
He's
a second.
2-1.
Okay, he's 2-1.
6-2.
And the condition of the LSU program in your news story, in your soundbite, was described as, quoting now, bleak.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Would you describe LSU football as bleak? Because you know what? It wasn't bleak under Les Miles.
Saturday was bleak. If you were an LSU fan and you were watching that was bleak.
Is it so,
that was like, oh.
Is it so bleak that you should throw a good man like Ed Orgeron, you and every other LSU fan, completely under the bus? He's lost
Is
again.
it okay to let LSU become the Vanderbilt of the SEC? Yeah, you're a great school, great place to get an education, but you can't play a damn football game.
When did you change? What happened?
We do not want to become the doormat of the SEC. Oh, we got the Tigers on our schedule. That's a win. Let's schedule them this year.
You lost a football
Georgia
game.
would be like, yeah, let's schedule LSU next year. We'll take them.
Read the story. Play the soundbite, because this is all coming back. See, bring me the head of Alfredo Garcia, but in this case, it's Ed Orgeron.
Or Joe Oliva. I'll take either head.
Or John the Baptist. They want Ed's head on a plate. Oh, my God.
I'm not calling for his head yet.
And at this point, as this maniac in this article, in this story, Ed Orgeron's head on a plate isn't enough. Look,
take Joe with him.
I got to tell you, I'm not sure in my own mind I would have gone with Joe Oliva as head of the athletic department at LSU. This is the guy who was literally the author of the Duke lacrosse scandal.
Yes.
Okay? Oh, well, we don't have any evidence. We're going to kick all of them out of school, and then I'm going to end up paying zillions of dollars to them and their families for slander and libel.
And all these kids lost that season.
I'm not sure that's the guy I would have gone with. Let's hire the Duke lacrosse guy.
Yeah.
Read the story. I am amazed at this.
After LSU's devastating loss to Mississippi State Saturday,
Ye gods.
some are wondering if head coach Ed Orgeron was the right man to choose for the job.
Okay, wait. Okay. Last year, lost a couple of games. This year, he's like 7-3, 8-3, 9. I don't know.
He's 6-2. He just said
7-3. They hadn't updated their website.
Okay, 7-3.
Okay, so over a season and a half, give or take, he's 7-3, slightly less than a full season.
Okay.
Does that to you equate Vanderbilt?
It smells like it. The loss to Mississippi State would not be as devastating if it were a good game, a close game.
If you could go out,
the butt spanking smells of Vanderbilt.
If you could go out and take a poll of LSU fans about whether or not Ed Orgeron should be fired, right now 70% of LSU fans would say fire him. Okay?
Not yet.
Yes,
no.
they would. Yes, they would.
I wouldn't.
You're ready to fire him.
No, I'm not ready to fire him yet.
The problem is, if you had this weird Vox Populi thing working, if LSU fans could hire and fire coaches, you'd hire and fire 6 and 7 coaches a year.
Yeah, I know.
So please finish the story.
Tiger Rag editor Cody Worsham says one thing to keep in mind is that athletic director Joe Oliva's fate lies with the board of supervisors.
Joe Oliva has allies on the board. He cuts a check to them every year for several $1,000,000 from the athletic department. I don't know if any other athletic directors in the country do that.
Worsham says right now it's too early to say if there'll be any changes. But he says as there's only been one SEC game this season, but he says the hire of Coach O was strictly a call made by Oliva, and if things remain bleak, there will be consequences.
If they remain they're not bleak. You lost one freaking game.
Saturday night was bleak.
Okay, and there could be. That would be like saying, we're not going to make changes now. Like Erin McCarty, you had a 0.6 in the ratings. We're not making changes. It's not time for changes yet.
Yeah.
But there's a target on your. And this guy is saying, Ed Orgeron, the target on his back is there. And you know what, Joe Oliva? If your guy doesn't do better,
target's on you too.
We'll get you too.
Oh boy.
Torches, pitchforks. Ye gods, LSU fans, settle the hell down.
Man.
19 past 7 o'clock. John Kennedy, U.S. Senator, says you're paying too much in taxes. See what he has to say in just a couple of seconds. Here's Ruben.
The intersection of Kings Highway and Linwood Avenue is dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we have some traffic delays on East Texas Street near Swan Lake Road in Bossier City. If you have any accidents, hazards, or closures to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, hot and humid for today with partial sunshine, the high 91, clear low 73 tonight. Tomorrow, a little sun and a pop-up thunderstorm, high again 91. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Bill Degger.
Twenty-one past 7 o'clock, time for KEEL Sports.
Good morning. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher. The Texas Rangers had a good night. Not only did they knock off Seattle 3-1, but the two teams ahead of them for the last wild card slot lost, pushing Texas within 3.5 games of a playoff spot with 12 games to play. Carlos Gomez came off the shelf and started an 8th-inning rally with a leadoff double. Shin Soo Choo broke a 1-1 tie with a sacrifice fly, and Elvis Andrus capped off the effort with a run-scoring single. Martin Perez started, pitched well, lasted 6 innings. Tony Barnett earned the win. Alex Claudio picked up the save. The AL West champion Astros continued their hot streak with a 3-1 win over the White Sox. Houston's 5th win in a row also keeps them a game and a half behind Cleveland for home field advantage in the American League playoffs. Jose Altuve homered, and former LSU star Alex Bregman had an RBI double to stoke the offense. Colin McHugh making his first start in 11 days after ripping a fingernail off his pitching hand on September 8th. Ouch. Worked 5 innings to get the win. Darius Geist missed his second straight practice with what Ed Orgeron termed a minor injury at the beginning of the week. LSU tries to rebound from Saturday's stunner in Starkville with a triumphant flogging of Syracuse in 3 days. Rashard Lawrence returned to practice and worked out in full pads as a sophomore defensive end tries to return to the field after suffering an ankle injury in the opener against BYU. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
Stop in. Piping hot Southern made today. Tommy, take a hint. 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Robert and Erin, 24 past 7 o'clock.
Get maple donuts this time.
Maple donuts.
Damn it.
You better enjoy it while you can. When do you kick into the when are you the Lord of Discipline?
Monday, I
the
think.
The Lady of Discipline?
I think Monday's the day.
If you're not looking forward to it, and I'm being serious.
No, I am.
Are you?
Yeah.
She's
I
just
am.
really going to miss Bluebell and donuts and
Hush up over there.
pasta.
The
Zip it over
interesting
there.
thing about this,
Pasta, oh,
as you prepare to embark on another life change, is your first question always is, when can I cheat?
Yeah, I know.
And it just seems to me that if your first question is, when can I, that would be, let me give you a little analogy. Imagine that you are going to get married. Okay?
Okay.
You agree you're going to get married. You are going to change your life. You are going to dedicate your heart, your soul, your spirit, your finances, that all that you are to this one person. And your first question about marriage is,
when can I cheat?
would you perhaps...
You got a point. I hadn't thought of it like that.
Would you perhaps, as an outsider, say, this union is doomed?
You're doomed, yeah.
Okay, just look.
Oh, thanks for that.
I'm not casting.
tidbit.
I'm not making a judgment call. I'm just telling you what I see. So when you prepare to start this life change, this commitment, as you call it, to a new way of living. And your first question is,
when can I cheat?
Pardon me for pointing out, as I did just a moment ago in my nuptials analogy.
Yeah.
That do you see where I might think for a second?
This is doomed?
That this union might be doomed, that you
Yeah.
might be standing on, shall we say, a slippery slope. So what does John Kennedy want to do?
He wants to lower taxes for middle-income Americans. He wants to, essentially, he is touting in doubling the federal tax deductions you can take. Let's say your standard deductions are $5,000. He wants to double that to $10,000, which essentially means you double your tax refund. If you get a refund, or you cut in half what you pay the government.
Exactly, but I know what you mean.
That's what he is saying. And he says what will happen with that money is that if you have $5,000 extra to spend, it's going to jumpstart the economy. And he also wants tax reform for businesses. He says the businesses are paying 40% tax now in America, and we have got to do something.
We have the highest corporate tax rate in the industrialized world.
It is running jobs overseas in droves, and we've got to address it. And he's really adamant about working on this. And he stood up before his colleagues and said, we must do something about it.
Do you disagree when our boy Doug, who is a fair tax proponent, and the fair tax is basically the VAT tax, value added, and with a couple of there would be a couple of deductions and this, that, and the other, but the more, when you look at the American tax code, and it's a zillion pages and nobody can understand.
Right.
And it's basically, in college I took an archaeology course. And the first rule of archaeology is civilizations build on top of each other.
Right.
Isn't the federal tax code just this building on top of thing on top of thing on top of thing, to the point that it's just this odd, bizarre, crazy, nobody really understands patchwork of rules?
I think you're exactly right. I think it's just such a mess.
Then basically wouldn't we be better off with Doug's VAT tax, his fair tax?
I worry the impact on poor folks.
Or to go another way, wouldn't we be better off? Look, right now, what is it? 90% of taxes are paid by 10% of the people. So when you want to worry about people at the lower end, most of them aren't paying anything anyway.
They pay sales taxes, which is what his would be.
But that's state stuff. Look, that's two different things.
His tax would be a federal sales tax,
yes,
essentially.
You're 100%
and that
right.
impacts everybody.
But there would be
all earners.
But there would be some deductions made for lower income in that instance.
Sure.
Then how's about a flat tax? How's about everybody just pay 15, 16, 18, 20?
See, I'm not as opposed to that either. And I'm not against Doug's fair tax. I just have a lot of questions about it.
Not for a heartbeat does it bother me if me and Jeff Bezos or Mark Zuckerman pays the same tax rate.
Doesn't bother you?
Mm-mm. I mean, if everybody pays 15, if everybody pays 20, there's nothing in my look. Once you get, if so many people have this misplaced notion that the government has a right to all your money and then they should just mete it out to you in increments they seem fair.
Mm-hmm.
How's about your money is your money and the government should get as little of it as possible?
I like that.
Well,
I like that a lot.
That ain't the way a lot of people think.
Mm-hmm.
729, it's 101.7 FM, 710 Keel traffic update coming up now. Here's Ruben.
Keeping an eye on some slow-moving traffic on Texas Avenue near Mansfield Road. And we're starting to see some backed-up traffic on I-20 westbound near Spring and Market. If you know something we don't, accidents, hazards, or closures, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast is a hot and humid one over the next 2 days as we close out the summer with highs in the 90s. Partly sunny 91 today. Clear tonight, low 73. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Bill Decker.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
The middle class needs tax relief, and business taxes must be changed. That's the message from U.S. Senator John Kennedy.
Our 40% business tax rate and our broken tax code are chasing our ideas, they're chasing our jobs, and they're chasing our investors into the open, waiting arms of foreign country.
Kennedy is calling for the federal tax deductions to be doubled, which would put more money in your pocket and strengthen our economy. Bossier wants more of your money. An attempt to avoid a huge budget crisis. City councils voted to increase property taxes. The city's increased millages from 22.92 to 23.36, which means you're looking at an increase of $4.40 for every $100,000 of your property's value. The increase goes into effect as soon as November. It should generate an additional $260,000 in revenues next year. More jobs are coming to Shreveport. Alarica, one of the largest providers of customer service jobs in the nation, is bringing nearly 500 part-time work-at-home jobs to our area. The official announcement taking place today, and there'll be a job fair tomorrow from 10 to 4 at the Northwest Louisiana Technical College on Market Street. Hurricane Maria slamming some of the Virgin Islands with winds about 165 miles an hour. It's now a Category 4 storm and is headed toward Puerto Rico. Christine Lynn lives in the capital city of San Juan. Her house is boarded up, and she's stocked up on food and water. She says getting past Hurricane Irma helped her learn how to prepare for this storm.
It was kind of sketchy for a couple of days after Irma. We learned that, hey, we need to do more prep. So they said Maria was coming. We made sure that we were way more prepped this time than we were last time.
The danger posed by Maria is so bad that Puerto Rico's public safety commissioner has been telling residents, you have to evacuate, otherwise, quote, you're going to die. A Caddo district judge has dismissed businessman Scott Bernici's defamation lawsuit against Shreveport Mayor Ollie Tyler. The judge is dismissing the suit and has ordered Bernici to pay over $18,000 in attorney's fees to the mayor's office. The people of Shreveport are making a hard push to try to make our city safer. Once a month, community leaders are getting together to talk about ways to cut down on violence and make our community a more safe place to live and work in. The group works hand in hand with Shreveport Police to make the communities of Allendale, Ledbetter Heights, Lakeside, and surrounding areas safer. Teacher has been arrested for indecent behavior with a youngster. Matt Parker has that.
Logan Purcell, a teacher in DeSoto Parish, has been arrested for allegedly engaging in illegal activities with a minor. The Sabine Parish Sheriff's Office, Louisiana State Police, and FBI began investigating Purcell after authorities in Massachusetts contacted Sabine Parish officials about questionable interactions between Purcell and a juvenile in their community. Purcell has been arrested and charged with indecent behavior with a juvenile and computer-aided solicitation of a minor. An investigation into Purcell's activities may lead to additional charges. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
President Trump vowing to totally destroy North Korea if the U.S. is forced to defend itself or its allies against the renegade nation's nuclear weapons program. Jimmy Kimmel taking a swipe at Senator Bill Cassidy on his late-night show, saying the Republican lied to him about his health care plan in the Senate. Kimmel saying Cassidy had previously been on the show and listed his health care bill demands, and now none of what he said is in the bill.
And this guy, Bill Cassidy, just lied right to my face.
Kimmel got involved in the health care debate, criticizing Republicans with an emotional reaction after his son was born and needed open-heart surgery right away. Partly cloudy. We'll see a little sunshine popping up. 91 for the high. Right now, 76. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
It is 7:36. Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Missy Sutter's here from the Independence Bowl just after 8 o'clock. What does she want?
What does she want?
What does she want?
She wants you to be the sponsor of the Independence Bowl, the Robert and Erin Bowl.
If they want some,
we got some cash.
They want some like Posadas coupons and a couple of T-shirts.
Get them some Johnny's pizzas.
Actually, what she wants is to talk about basically the same topic that Scott Musket from the Mudbugs talked about last week.
Why are we such Debbie Downers in Shreveport?
We're not.
She says it's just this attitude and this perception of we're not a sports town, doom and gloom. We don't support anything.
Let's not put too much weight on that which you see in social media. I think, and I said this in any number of segments and or interviews last week, pertaining to the arena, pertaining to the NBA Gatorade League team, the NBA minor league team coming here. I really, really, really think that way more people than anybody gives anybody credit for understood that it really was about borrowing $30 million or more dollars. And they said, can Shreveport afford to borrow $30 million or more dollars?
Yeah.
And I think most people got that.
We're already
I don't
struggling.
Think, I don't think anybody was against the team. Look.
Oh, you saw all the posts.
hang on.
Everything before it's failed. We're failures.
But really, it was about the 30 million. Look, if it were that great an idea, why wasn't Tom Benson willing to pay for it all himself and bring the team here and all that kind of stuff?
Because Tom doesn't do deals like that.
Okay.
Tom's the only NFL team that gets money from the state where he's located.
So Tom hustles.
He's a hustler.
Okay, Tom's thinking about Tom, yo. And he's hustling New Orleans for the Superdome.
He's hustling the state.
He's hustling the state of Louisiana for the Superdome and the Smoothie King, and he wanted to hustle. Is this too strong? Is this
too strong.
Is this too strong a statement?
He's not hustling Shreveport.
Okay, is Tom Benson paying for the Superdome?
Nuh-uh.
Is Tom Benson paying for Smoothie King? Would Tom Benson have paid for the arena here?
No.
Is Tom Benson hustling New Orleans in the state of Louisiana?
Yeah.
Would Tom Benson have been hustling Shreveport? No. 739, 1017 FM, 710 Keel traffic time. Here's Ruben.
We have reports of a major accident on Clyde Vant Memorial Parkway near East 70th Street. And we have some traffic delays on Benton Road just north of I-220 in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, hot and humid for today with partial sunshine, the high 91. Clear low 73 tonight. Tomorrow, a little sun and a pop-up thunderstorm, high again 91. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Bill Degger.
Dude, that you went deep for that. That was awesome.
I love the Shield. It's one of my favorite
shows.
shows.
Awesome. 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Robert and Erin. Did you see what he just did?
He did, yes.
Okay, so we got the TV on in the room, and it's on CBS, and they've got, what is it, NCIS New Orleans. And I said, what's the actress's, the black lady who's on NCIS New Orleans? She's got a real odd name, and like immediately you came back with
CCH Pounder.
Wow.
I mean, like three initials, CCH Pounder.
How do you know that?
I told you, I'm a huge fan of The Shield, and she was one of the detectives in that show.
Now, while we're talking about that, the guy that's like the real fair-haired guy, who's always got the surfer boy looking guy, on NCIS Los Angeles, his last name is Olsen. Is he Mary-Kate and Ashley's brother?
I don't know. I don't watch the show.
I don't believe so.
I don't either. I've never... Look, I watch zero series television. I just know names. But CCH Pounder is awesome.
What I do watch and what I'm dying for...
Jimmy Kimmel?
No, I watched that last night. But I've always been addicted to what show? You know. Big Brother. Tonight is the big finale.
Thank God.
And you know what I kept thinking? I keep thinking of this. You can help me with this. Can you write this post for me today?
Big Brother Puerto Rico.
No, I want Big Brother Shreveport Bossier. I want to get a house somewhere in Shreveport, and I want to pick like 10 or 12 local people that have to live in this house for 90 days.
We did that.
No, I mean like let's put
we did
Lo
that.
Walker in there with... let's put like some big shots.
See, what Erin's really getting at is she wants to be a member of the show, but she doesn't want to put in the effort to travel to Los Angeles.
No, I don't. I mean, let's take you, Robert. Let's plop you in there.
Convince me that why I would want to do that.
Because you could live in this house for free. All your meals are paid for. You pretty much can sleep, till 10 in the morning.
I would literally...
You got to get up and play a few games.
I am 65 years old. Anything that does not benefit me almost right away. Look, as
you could win some cash.
That's the only appeal it has.
But you'd have to live with some millennials who are slobs, and you'd have share a shower with them.
All millennials are slobs. Tell me something I don't know.
I think it would be hilarious.
Stereotype much?
But tonight is the big finale.
Go take a bath.
Of Big Brother, and it's like, do not call me tonight. I am indisposed.
Speaking of TV, we began to talk about Jimmy Kimmel, and he sort of went on TV last night, and his whole opening monologue was busted.
No. He did his opening monologue,
and then
took a break,
busted on
and
Bill Cassidy.
teased Cassidy and said, "I've got to come back. I'm angry at a politician.
Why?
I'll be back and tell you more."
He was a liar. He said
he did. He said he lied to my face.
He spent about 6 minutes calling Bill Cassidy a liar and saying that I thought Bill Cassidy was a reasonable Republican. See, look, let's start from what I've said forever. What the health care debate is all about. How are the people who can pay for the ones who can't? What are you willing to do? What is the most efficient and effective and economic way of you and me who have insurance pay for the ones who don't and or can't? And it will leave X number of people uninsured.
Yeah.
If you're not paying, whether or not they have insurance, it doesn't matter.
You still get care.
Yeah. And it's a question of how it's going to be paid for.
Right.
Pre-existing conditions, okay?
Sure.
We know people whose family members have pre-existing conditions.
Absolutely. I have them in my family.
The point being that if you give insurance to someone with a pre-existing condition, knowing they're going to use it, it's a lot of things, but it's not insurance. As I said yesterday, that's like giving you and me car insurance, and you've never had a wreck, and I'm a drunk guy who has a wreck once a week, and then saying, well, you two should pay the same. Now, that sounds cold and heartless, and I don't mean it that way. The point is, I am looking at it from strictly an economic point of view. What I have, knowing I'm going to use it, is not insurance.
But wait a minute. If you are somebody who, let's say you have diabetes, let's just say that.
You're right.
And you have coverage under your plan. But now you've got to switch to this new plan. Well, guess what? Your diabetes is a pre-existing condition. It's no longer going to be covered. Right now, under your existing plan, it's covered.
But you're still paying more. And the reason it's so high is because, look, we can... this is so frustrating to me. And I'm going to say it once again, and I apologize for people who have heard me say it a million times. The problem is we're running a welfare program through private insurance. And that's another layer of bureaucracy. It's not the most efficient way.
What is? What country does a good job of this?
None. Yeah, well, the United States used to.
No, you cannot sit there and say prior to Obamacare we had a good system. That's BS.
No, I can.
No, our costs were going up.
Wait, stop.
We needed to address
You've
problems.
Stop talking right now. The system as it existed in the United States before Obamacare was far superior to the way it is right now.
Absolutely.
Obamacare has not improved a thing.
But prior to Obamacare, we had problems. You've got to admit it.
But we had fewer than any single-payer country in the world. Governments running insurance does not work. And everybody, and in this case, Senator Cassidy, too, is we need Obamacare replacement. No. What we need is Obamacare repeal. And I venture that, as we have proven the last 8 years or so in this country, and you can look at England, and you can look at Canada, and you can look at all the single-payer countries, there's a reason that gas is $7 a gallon in Europe, okay? because it's healthcare costs. They just tack it all on there. Look, we don't
Right.
have to. We'll get more of this later.
Oh, boy.
748, 1017 FM, 710 Keel traffic and weather and your money now up next.
The intersection at Stoner Avenue and Centenary Boulevard is dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we have some traffic delays on Airline Drive near Barksdale Boulevard in Bossier City. If you have any accidents, hazards, or closures to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast is a hot and humid one over the next few days as we close out the summer with highs in the 90s. Partly sunny 91 today. Clear tonight, low 73. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, highs in the 90s. Partly sunny 91 today. Clear tonight, low 73. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Bill Decker.
Jennifer Kushinka with your money now. When it comes to flying,
It is 8 before 8 o'clock, 1017 FM 710 Keel, time for sports.
Good morning. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher. The Texas Rangers had a good night. Not only did they knock off Seattle 3-1, but the two teams ahead of them for the last wild card slot lost, pushing Texas within 3.5 games of a playoff spot with 12 games to play. Carlos Gomez came off the shelf and started an 8-inning rally with a leadoff double. Shin Soo Choo broke a 1-1 tie with a sacrifice fly, and Elvis Andrus capped off the effort with a run-scoring single. Martin Perez started, pitched well, lasted 6 innings. Tony Barnett earned the win. Alex Claudio picked up the save. The AL West champion Astros continued their hot streak with a 3-1 win over the White Sox. Houston's 5th win in a row also keeps them a game and a half behind Cleveland for home field advantage in the American League playoffs. Jose Altuve homered, and former LSU star Alex Bregman had an RBI double to stoke the offense. Colin McHugh making his first start in 11 days after ripping a fingernail off his pitching hand on September 8th. Ouch. Worked 5 innings to get the win. Darius Geist missed his second straight practice with what Ed Orgeron termed a minor injury at the beginning of the week. LSU tries to rebound from Saturday's stunner in Starkville with a triumphant flogging of Syracuse in 3 days. Rashard Lawrence returned to practice and worked out in full pads as a sophomore defensive end tries to return to the field after suffering an ankle injury in the opener against BYU. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
We'll talk about it more in the 8 o'clock hour, but I just want you to think about this.
And Missy Sanders is going to join us, too, by the way.
How much should you pay? How much are you willing to pay? And what's the most efficient way to pay for people, not only for your health care, but for people who don't, because it's going to get passed along. Okay? It's going to get passed along.
Some way or another, I'm going to pay.
Yeah, of course.
I'm paying now, though.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
But is it the most efficient, economic way of doing it?
I just want people that have no coverage to have access to care of some sort. And I would like it to be efficient care where you just don't go when your heart explodes. You go get some preventative care.
Here's kind of a moral question about the whole thing. Is that, say, somebody who has no inclination, or let's say any means, let's frame it this way. Someone who has no means to pay for their health care, should you be required to pay for their health care forever, no matter how much it costs, no matter how long it takes? Should it just go on and on and on? And how many people can we as a society afford to do that? And if we decide, look, somewhere along the line, we decided the federal government is going to be in charge of this.
Yeah.
Is that the best way?
No.
Is that the
Less
best way?
government is always the best way.
Well, what Bill Cassidy's plan does is give control of health care and the federal dollars back to the states.
Oh, good. John Bell Edwards is in control. All right.
Or the Louisiana State Legislature.
Yeah, okay. They've been great lately, too, haven't they?
Same people that bring you the roads you've ridden on.
Oh, love that.
Are going to be in
potholes in my heart. All right.
Well, you already got a couple. 756, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Here comes Sean Hannity.
The truth and nothing but. This is the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
So yesterday, the world was reminded what a true, strong American leader looks like. In his first address to the UN, President Trump gave a speech that the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu praised as the most courageous speech he's ever heard at the UN. While addressing the General Assembly, President Trump reiterated his commitment to his America First agenda, saying our government's first duty is to its people, to our citizens, to serve their needs, to ensure their safety, to preserve their rights and defend their values. As President of the United States, I will always put America first. And then Trump also blasted socialism, threatened to destroy North Korea, and called out the mullahs in Iran for being a murderous regime. What a stark difference from Obama and his apology and appeasement years.
Keeping you on the straight path. Later today, it's the Sean Hannity Show.
You know, business travel is a game of wins and losses. A reclining seat in front of you, that's a loss. Buying your business trip at Upside.com, well, that's not just a win, it's a triple win because Upside.com has the absolute best available prices for flights, hotels, and rental cars. Win number 2 is how Upside rewards you with a gift card to places like Amazon.com every single time you buy a business trip. And the third win is the amazing 6-star treatment that you get from Upside's Navigators, their customer service specialists. Now, Navigators are instantly accessible 24/7 when you go to Upside.com and use their app, even reaching out so you can avoid a problem before it happens. Go to Upside.com, use the promo code Hannity, and you'll get a minimum $100 gift card to Amazon.com. That's promo code Hannity for a minimum $100 gift card to Amazon.com just for buying your next business trip at Upside.com. You deserve a better business trip.
Minimum purchase required. See site for complete details.
1017 FM and 710 Keel. You'll hear all the news our city is talking about. If you think about changing the dial, we'll slap your hand. Breaking news and trending talk. 1017 FM and 710 Keel. KeelNews.com.
Still keeping a close eye on that heavy backed up traffic on I-20 westbound near Spring and Market. It's backed up past Airline Drive right now. And we have some traffic delays on Benton Road, just north of Shed Road in Bossier City. If you have any accidents, hazards, or closures to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, hot and humid for today with partial sunshine, the high 91. Clear low 73 tonight. Tomorrow, a little sun and a pop-up thunderstorm, high again 91. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Bill Degger.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. KEEL, Shreveport.
Good morning. It's 8:03. Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Erin has local news in just a couple of seconds.
Jimmy Kimmel slamming Senator Bill Cassidy. We'll talk more about that this morning. Lower taxes. That's what Senator Kennedy wants. And Bossier City raising taxes.
The Independence Bowl, Missy Setters, she will join us in just a couple of seconds. What's the deal? Will there be a logo at the 50-yard line? We will find out. And
I think caricatures of Robert and Erin would be good.
Fletcher and sports, traffic and weather all coming up this hour, and it's right here on KEEL.
KEEL Morning Report. Now on 1017 FM and 710 KEEL.
Hurricane Maria has weakened to a Category 4 storm as it roars toward Puerto Rico. The storm threatening to decimate the power company's crumbling infrastructure in that country. Jimmy Kimmel launched an assault on Louisiana Senator Bill Cassidy during his TV show last night. Kimmel says Senator Cassidy's new health care bill is a bad bill, and he says Cassidy lied to his face.
There's a new Jimmy Kimmel test for you. It's called the lie detector test. You're welcome to stop by the studio and take it anytime.
Kimmel says Cassidy promised protections for people with pre-existing conditions and also promised lower premiums, but he says these are not part of Cassidy's new bill. Bossier City, in an attempt to avoid a huge budget crisis, has voted to increase property taxes in the city. It means residents will look at an increase of $4.40 for every $100,000 of your property's value. The increase goes into effect as soon as November. The increase should generate an additional $260,000 in property tax revenues next year. The mayor wins in court. Matt Parker explains.
A Caddo district judge has dismissed businessman Scott Pernice's defamation lawsuit against Shreveport Mayor Ollie Tyler. Last year, Tyler said that Pernice was attempting to get money from the city for not exposing the city's water billing issues. She went on to say that she would not allow Shreveport to be extorted or blackmailed. Pernice sued the city for attempting to make him look like a criminal. However, a judge has dismissed that suit and ordered Pernice to pay over $18,000 for the city's attorney fees related to the case. From 1017 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
The people of Shreveport making a push to make our city safer. Once a month, community members are meeting to discuss ways to cut down on violence and make our neighborhoods a safer place to be. The group is working hand in hand with Shreveport Police to make the communities of Allendale, Ledbetter Heights, Lakeside, and surrounding areas safer for the public. The group meets on the third Tuesday of every month. A teacher has been arrested for indecent behavior with a minor. Logan Procell, a teacher in DeSoto Parish, accused of allegedly engaging in illegal activity with a minor. The Sabine Parish Sheriff's Office, State Police, and the FBI began investigating Procell after authorities in Massachusetts contacted Sabine Parish officials about questionable interactions between Procell and a juvenile in their community. Louisiana Senator John Kennedy calling for tax cuts on the middle class. Kennedy says now is the time since federal revenues are at an all-time high.
You think America's broke? Between October 2016 and January 2017, the U.S. Treasury set a brand new tax revenue record, $1 trillion. And a lot of that money came out of the hides of ordinary people.
Kennedy says tax cuts are the biggest way we can jumpstart our economy. Caddo DA James Stewart wants to turn a closed school in Shreveport into a juvenile justice service center for the parish. Stewart wants to consolidate and move several departments, including child support and truancy, into the former Alexander Learning Center in the Highland community. More jobs are coming to town. Alrika, one of the largest providers of customer service jobs in the country, will bring nearly 500 part-time work-at-home jobs to our area. The official announcement taking place today, and a job fair will be held tomorrow from 10 to 4 at the Northwest Louisiana Technical College on North Market. The Louisiana Association of Educators says a poll of Louisiana parents finds that 65% believe that our state places too much emphasis on student testing. LAE President Debbie Moe says parents and their children are not excited about filling out bubbles on a test.
LAE believes that we should be focusing more on teaching our children to love learning. That in itself cannot be measured by any kind of a standardized test.
A New Mexico man faces charges after police say he randomly slapped a customer, then stole the man's green chili cheeseburger before running off. Partly cloudy today, 91 for the high. Right now, 75. I'm Erin McCarty on 1017 FM and 710 KEEL.
9 past 8 o'clock, time for Keel traffic. Here's Ruben.
Still keeping a close eye on that heavy backed up traffic on I-20 westbound near Spring and Market. Is backed up past Airline Drive right now. And we have some traffic delays on Benton Road, just north of Shed Road in Bossier City. If you have any accidents, hazards, or closures to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast is a hot and humid one over the next 2 days as we close out the summer with highs in the 90s. Partly sunny 91 today. Clear tonight, low 73. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Bill Decker.
Twelve past 8 o'clock. Robert J. Wright, Erin McCarty, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Keel app, free download from Office Furniture Source. Executive Director, Independence Bowl, Missy Setters is here. I always love saying this. Hey, Missy, how are you today?
I'm fine, Robert. How are you?
Getting younger every day, kid. Getting younger every day.
Give us an update, Missy, this morning on a sponsor for the Independence Bowl. We're 90 days or so out. How close we are, what the planning's looking like for the game this year.
Well, we've been planning for months now, and we don't currently have a sponsor. The search is ongoing. There are other bowls out there in the same situation we're in, too. So it's not an easy, short process, but it's ongoing, and there are some prospects out there. I would certainly wouldn't give a percentage on anything, but we are having a game this year, and we are planning for it. We've already had a number of events throughout the calendar year, and we'll have a total of 20 events this year, and a number of new events during Bowl Week, too, including a concert that we announced last week.
There was a report that went out, I'm not sure where I saw it, that you actually turned down a sponsor for $500,000. I know you want to address that.
Well, that was months ago. That was our previous title sponsor, so that's water under the bridge. And, without getting into too many details, the sponsorship in the Independence Bowl includes a very significant amount of national buy with ESPN. The value of that is well over what was offered. So, anyway, so like I said, we've got a lot of planning going on, and we've been planning since February, and we're excited about the events we have for this year's game.
Okay, your name came up prominently during the city council meeting. I'm sure you know that we've got $1.5 million we're going to have to pay out to the teams. Where's that money going to come from? I know you get some money from the city. You get some from the hotel motel tax. Where's the $1.5 million coming from this year, Missy, if we don't have a sponsor?
Well, we have, there's a number of revenue sources for the bowl. We have corporate sponsorships. You have hospitality sponsorships through tents that we do on game day, number of events that we have through the year. And there's just a multitude of revenue sources that add up to what's needed for team payouts. And there's a lot of variables, too, based on what your matchup could be. So what I would say is sometimes the numbers that are thrown out, there's a lot of variables that go into that, and it's not always accurate.
You're confident, though. You're still confident as you talk to us today that you'll find a sponsor?
We're searching for a sponsor. We will have a game this year, and our hope is to find a sponsor for this year. And we would be happy to put your faces at midfield if y'all would like to do that.
We need to get with Steven up in New York and see if he wants to do that.
The Robert J. Wright, Erin McCarty Independence Bowl.
I like it.
It's got a ring, kid.
It's got a ring.
While you are here, it has been a very heated month or so in Shreveport politics pertaining to the New Orleans Pelicans, the G League team, the arena, the bond issue, corporate realty, etc. And we had Mudbug's general manager Scott Muscat on a week or a little more than a week ago, and he addressed Shreveport ain't a sports town, you know, that thing you see all the time. And he made a pretty damn good case that Shreveport is, in fact, a pretty good sports town. Now, there are things about all the social media posts, etc., over the last 30 to 45 to 60 days that you wanted to comment on also. What do you have to say about that, specifically that sort of Shreveport ain't a sports town saying that floats around all the time?
Well, look, I texted Scott right after I heard the interview, and I told him, I said he was dead on, and I agree with him. I think you have to look at things in perspective, and like I said, there's a lot of things out there that aren't always totally accurate, so we have a responsibility to check out the facts and see what the facts are. You know, you've got past leagues that people continuously say they failed, when in reality, with the CFL in particular, the CFL, after 2 years, the league office decided to shut down all of the U.S. teams in the United States, and so there were no longer any teams in the States.
You know, I have made the point forever and ever for every sports team in Shreveport that has, to use the term, failed, there are as many individual reasons as there are teams, and in many of those cases, attendance is not one of them.
And I would agree with you there. Attendance has been an issue with some. And, you know, I will say this. I did get a little frustrated with some of the things I read because people said hockey failed. But when you look at the reality of it, and I think Scott addressed it, there were a multitude of reasons why we didn't have hockey here for a few years. But hockey looks like it's pretty successful right now, and they have a great fan following, and they've done some wonderful things at Hirsch. So I think you have to look at that as a success and stop throwing it out as a failure.
What do you say to all these? What do you say to all these people that go on social media and have this negative attitude about Shreveport and doom and gloom? And I know you're passionate about this, and you want to tell people, come on now, that's not true.
Well, I think some of it, like I said, we have a responsibility to check on things, and you know, there's a lot of validity with things that are said on social media, but there's also a lot of things thrown out that we need to check on a personal level. And what I would say is, at some point, as a community, we have to take our identity, take control of our identity, and say, do we want to become a self-fulfilling prophecy of negativity to everyone outside this community, or do we want to take control of it and identify who we want to be and what kind of community we want to be? Do we want our kids coming back here after they finish college, or do we want them saying, well, I'm going to go to a different place? And also, we've got to stop being so myopic in our approach, because, yes, there are a lot of things that as citizens here we're concerned with. Crime is obviously one of them. But, you know, when you're a 20-something kid and you just graduated from college, and, you know, my daughter will be in that situation in a few years, you're looking at a multitude of things in where you want to locate after college, and sometimes we're myopic in our approach to things.
One more thing before we let you go. Tell us what you want from a sponsor, how much money you want, and what do they get? You might have a sponsor listening to you right now.
Well, for confidentiality reasons, I can't throw numbers out there because there's variables with that, too, based on the benefits that are included. We would like somebody that has regional ties. You would like somebody but you're also looking for somebody who benefits greatly from a national buy, because that's what a title sponsorship of a bowl game is. It's a national buy. There are regional benefits to a great extent included with that too. You know, you're getting exposure value on ESPN for 3.5 hours, and that's a pretty big nut to buy if you're on your own. So we're looking for somebody who would be a great partner and come along with us to help us grow the bowl.
Missy Setters, Independence Bowl, head cheese, executive director.
Miss Missy.
Yeah, good luck to you. And if you run out of time and you really need a sponsor, maybe we'll call old Steven up in New York and see what he can do.
Okay, thanks, guys.
You bet.
Thank you. Always a pleasure. 101.7 FM, 710 Keel traffic update coming up now. Here's Ruben.
Still keeping a close eye on that heavy backed up traffic on I-20 westbound near Spring and Market. It's backed up past Airline Drive right now. And we have some traffic delays on Benton Road, just north of Shed Road in Bossier City. If you have any accidents, hazards, or closures to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, hot and humid for today with partial sunshine, the high 91, clear low 73 tonight. Tomorrow, a little sun and a pop-up thunderstorm, high again 91. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Bill Degger.
Wow, 22 past 8, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. I'll tell you why I said wow in a second. Here's Fletch.
Good morning. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher. The Texas Rangers had a good night. Not only did they knock off Seattle 3-1, but the two teams ahead of them for the last wild card slot lost, pushing Texas within 3.5 games of a playoff spot with 12 games to play. Carlos Gomez came off the shelf and started an 8th-inning rally with a leadoff double. Shin Soo Choo broke a 1-1 tie with a sacrifice fly, and Elvis Andrus capped off the effort with a run-scoring single. Martin Perez started, pitched well, lasted 6 innings. Tony Barnett earned the win. Alex Claudio picked up the save. The AL West champion Astros continued their hot streak with a 3-1 win over the White Sox. Houston's 5th win in a row also keeps them a game and a half behind Cleveland for home field advantage in the American League playoffs. Jose Altuve homered, and former LSU star Alex Bregman had an RBI double to stoke the offense. Colin McHugh making his first start in 11 days after ripping a fingernail off his pitching hand on September 8th. Ouch. Worked 5 innings to get the win. Darius Geis missed his second straight practice with what Ed Orgeron termed a minor injury at the beginning of the week. LSU tries to rebound from Saturday's stunner in Starkville with a triumphant flogging of Syracuse in 3 days. Rashard Lawrence returned to practice and worked out in full pads as a sophomore defensive end tries to return to the field after suffering an ankle injury in the opener against BYU. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
25 past 8 o'clock, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright, Erin McCarty. Okay, so.
I know you have a subject to get to, so I'll make my question quick.
Is this the, oh, okay, go ahead. Is this
No, I'm not going to do it.
Wait a second.
It's out of the blue. It's not something I've ever asked you. It's not something I ever wanted to ask you.
Every time you ask me an unexpected question.
And it's not anything on topic at all, so I'm sorry. We'll do it later.
No, go ahead.
Maybe I need to do it off the air first.
What could possibly go wrong?
Oh, this is bad.
Hold on, let me find the dump button, and then
you
you
might
can
need
continue.
it. You might need it.
Is this really something we should screen, or do you just want to throw it out?
I'm going to throw it out.
I mean, when you ask me...
I've seen you...
When you ask me questions, they're not really questions to Robert. They are questions to men in general, and you are...
it's to men in general. Pull your man card out. Because men don't do this, and I see women do it, and I want to tell women, beyond the age of 30, don't ever do this anymore.
What's that?
You guys have... Matt may have, but you have never gotten up on a bar and danced, have you? Jump on a bar and dance. You've never done that.
No, Kyra.
Matt?
No.
I can't say that I have.
You know women who have, right?
No.
Yes, you do.
Well, I mean, I may, but they didn't tell me.
You've seen a woman do it, right?
No, never.
You've never been in a bar when a woman's jumped up on the bar and danced. You have, Matt, of course.
Yes.
Yes. I'm just saying right now, ladies, beyond the age of 30, don't get up on the bar and dance.
This leads me to believe
I'm
that
sorry
you
to
know
say
someone
that.
over the age of 30 who did this.
It was not a good look.
Erin McCarty.
No,
so please
it wasn't
continue.
me. It wasn't me. It's been many, many a moon since I've done that.
You've done it?
Of course.
Like within the past
What do you
2
mean,
weeks.
of course? As though it's some sort of rite of passage for women across America to be...
When you're in your 20s, you do something silly like that.
What percentage?
I'm so sorry I took the show way into the gutter.
No. What percentage of women across America right now, what percentage of American women do you, in your mind, have been so drunk that they got up on the bar and danced?
No, I wasn't drunk. I was just having fun.
Okay, what percentage of sober women?
70% of women have done it, I would say.
I think that is so outrageously high.
Oh, no. 70% of women have jumped up on a bar.
Really?
Matt's like, oh, yes, they do it all the time.
It's a thing drunk white women do. That's the only way to describe it. I don't know. It's something that I've never seen in any other culture.
I'm just saying, I use the getting on the bar and dancing as an example, but there are some things beyond a certain age one should not do. And that's one of them. That's one of them, at about 30-ish.
I'm going to start taking sort of an informal poll.
And ask women if they've ever done it?
I'm not sure I should say the word poll
don't
in
do
reference
that.
to women dancing.
No,
but
I'm not getting up there and stripping or anything like that. I know women who've done that.
And do you think now, because we have a number of women in this building over the age of 30, do you think they'll lie to me about it and say, no, I never did that, when in reality, in some dark recess of their mind and or photo log.
No, they'll admit it. They'll admit it.
See, I think they will admit it to you. They won't necessarily admit it to Robert, because you would understand Robert being
They would think, I'm not going to tell that old goober that I've done that.
Yeah.
He'll judge me
You
about
told
it.
me.
I've told you everything.
You told
yeah,
me.
pretty
No,
much.
I didn't know that.
Never asked you. But you've never had the thought? Men don't have the thought of getting on the bar
No,
and
you
dancing.
can always talk some woman into it. 29 past 8 o'clock, 1017.
Great segment I brought up, huh?
Boy,
Yeah.
Great, yeah. There goes another syndication deal. 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Here's Ruben.
The intersection at Greenwood Road and Juella Avenue is dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now, and we're still keeping an eye on that backed-up traffic on I-20 westbound. Starting at Spring and Market, it's backed up past Benton Road right now. If you have anything to report to us, accidents, hazards, or closures, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, hot and humid for today with partial sunshine, the high 91. Clear low 73 tonight. Tomorrow, a little sun and a pop-up thunderstorm, high again 91. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Bill Degger.
information. KEEL News now.
Jimmy Kimmel strikes out against Louisiana Senator Bill Cassidy.
This new bill actually does pass the Jimmy Kimmel test, but a different Jimmy Kimmel test. With this one, your child with a pre-existing condition will get the care he needs if and only if his father is Jimmy Kimmel. Otherwise, you might be screwed.
Kimmel says Cassidy lied to his face during a recent appearance on his show. A Caddo district judge has dismissed businessman Scott Pernice's defamation suit against Mayor Tyler. Last year, Tyler said Pernice was attempting to get money from the city for not exposing the water billing issues. She went on to say she would not allow Shreveport to be extorted or blackmailed. Pernice sued for attempting to make him look like a criminal. However, a judge dismissed that suit and has now ordered Pernice to pay more than $18 grand for the city's attorney's fees. Property taxes going up in Bossier. Matt Parker with that.
Bossier City, in an attempt to avoid a huge budget crisis, has voted to increase property taxes in the city. The city has increased millages from 22.92 to 23.36, which means residents will be looking at an increase of $4.40 for every $100,000 of their property's value. The increase will go into effect as soon as November. The increase should generate an additional $260,000 in property tax revenue in 2018. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
While we're talking taxes, Senator John Kennedy says it's time for middle-class tax cuts.
The middle class, the ordinary people of America, have made virtually no progress. And they have every right to be angry about that, because it has been 16 years since President Bush's tax cuts, since the middle class has gotten a tax break.
Kennedy wants to double the federal tax exemptions, which will let you keep more of your money. The senator says this will pump billions back into our economy. The people of Shreveport making a push to make our city safer. Community members are meeting once a month to talk about ways to cut down on violence and crime in our areas. A teacher's been arrested for indecent behavior with a minor. Logan Procell, who teaches in DeSoto Parish, has been arrested for allegedly engaging in illegal activity with a minor. Caddo DA James Stewart wants to turn a closed school in Shreveport into a juvenile justice service center. Stewart wants to consolidate and move several departments, including child support and truancy, into the former Alexander Learning Center in Highland. Currently, all of those departments are located in different buildings in different parts of the city. The Louisiana Association of Educators says a poll of Louisiana parents finds that 65% believe the state places too much emphasis on student testing. LAE President Debbie Moe says the survey also found 55% of respondents believe a student's test performance shouldn't play a major role in determining a teacher's effectiveness. Moe says a new 25-member panel will meet to examine whether public school students are over-tested.
What kind of testing is actually taking place and how much of that testing takes and how much of it is really actually efficient testing of the standards that the kids are learning.
More jobs are coming to the area. Alarica, one of the largest providers of customer service jobs in the country, is bringing nearly 500 part-time work-at-home jobs to our community. The official announcement is happening today, and there'll be a job fair tomorrow from 10 to 4 at the Northwest Louisiana Technical College on Market Street. Police say a drunken Pennsylvania man who didn't want to drink alone forced his way into a woman's home and sat down with two 12-packs of beer. Sean Haller of Stewartston now faces a list of charges. Partly cloudy today, 91 for the high, right now 75. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
It is 8:36. Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Okay, so all morning long, the thread of the show today has been Jimmy Kimmel on his show last night busting up Bill Cassidy, saying, Senator Bill Cassidy, he's a liar. He lied about health care, and this new bill is nothing but lying. He came on this show and said everybody would be covered all the time for everything, and this bill doesn't cover everybody all the time for everything for unlimited expense, and he's a liar because he's Republican. So you've had a couple of hours to think about it. And I said the question is, when it comes to health care in America, we have decided that the federal government, or at least some level of government, should be in control of monies distributed by the federal government to pay for people who can't.
Right.
Okay? Can't, won't, let's just call it pre-existing conditions because it's too expensive.
Yeah.
The point is we are going to either totally pay for or subsidize the health care costs of a great portion of our society.
Right.
So, my question to you is, because right now, and I'm going to say it for a billionth time, Obamacare, or basically the way health care is set up right now, is running a massive welfare program through private companies, that is, the insurance industry. So, if we're going to pay for all these people, you tell me if the current way, Obamacare, is a total unmitigated economic and distributive as it comes to healthcare disaster.
Right.
What's the best way?
Going back the way we were wasn't great.
Well, wait a second.
I don't think that was great.
Hang on just a second. The way we were
Before Obamacare
was better than it is now.
Yes.
But the way we were pre-Obamacare started to unravel in the 60s. I can make the case, and so can people far more informed than I, that as soon as the government started to get involved with Medicare, Medicaid, all the government programs,
it started to crumble. Yeah,
it started to become more costly, more burdensome.
So maybe if government wasn't involved,
I don't know.
But we have to have you have a heart. Our listeners have a heart. There has to be a safety net for those who cannot buy insurance.
Is the federal government of the United States
be that safety net?
Should they be in charge? Should they be the ones to collect and distribute all of that health care money?
I don't know.
You're pointing. What you got?
Well, this is the top of this email we never got to yesterday.
We're going to get to it next.
It says, you guys are morons.
Well, I have a sense that this was really more
directed at Matty.
This is something that Matt said.
Me. Yeah. I said it was me. I'll take it.
Okay, we'll find out what that's about, and we'll find out next. 8:39 traffic update on Keel. Here's Ruben.
St. Vincent Avenue near Hollywood Avenue is dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we have some traffic delays on Texas Street in downtown Shreveport. If you have any accidents, hazards, or closures to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, hot and humid for today with partial sunshine, the high 91. Clear low 73 tonight. Tomorrow, a little sun and a pop-up thunderstorm, high again 91. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Bill Degger.
I don't need to read this. You have it in front of you.
Yes, I do.
1017 FM, 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright, Erin McCarty. It's 842, the Shreveport Security Systems text line, which has been busy all morning long.
Oh, man, it's been burning up.
318-392-1884.
I love it when you guys are called morons and not me.
It's not you guys. It's me.
Yeah, it pretty much is
and
you.
I will let them say their piece,
Yeah.
or you can say it for them, and then I will respond.
This has to do with the video that was well, it's in wide release now.
The beatdown at Brookshire's.
Now, see, first of all, for you, and I'm being totally serious, for you to at some level make light the beatdown at of a guy who not only got the crap kicked out of him, but an officer who in that instance felt that they were in some degree of danger or threat. There's not a lot of funny in this.
Oh, a lot of people are joking about it.
Why?
They are.
Why?
Because the guy's stealing steaks, and he got his behind kicked.
What is?
Because he's trying to steal a ribeye.
Where is the humor in somebody who, for whatever reason,
I know we shouldn't find humor. You're right, but
and
people are finding it. People are laughing.
Whooped on by a policeman.
And he was whooped on by a Brookshire's employee, too.
Which I maybe we'll talk about that later. That to me is odd, but we'll come back to that.
Here's our email.
Now, wait a second. Give us a little background and let us review what you and Matt discussed yesterday.
Well, all I said was that, in my opinion, if I'm a police officer and you take a swing at me, I am going to kick your beep.
So all bets are off.
I'm gonna put you down. You're not going to move again on me.
So all bets are off. In other words,
I mean, I'm not going to kill you.
Well,
but you're not going to move again on me to swing. You're not going to get a second swing at me. I'm going to take you down out.
So in your...
And if a Brookshire's employee needs to help me, so be it.
So let me ask you this. In your opinion, watching the video, and the reason I don't get involved in this...
I don't know.
And the reason I don't get involved in this stuff is because I wasn't there.
Nope.
I don't know what words were exchanged. I don't know what happened before. I don't know.
Don't see the police officer's body cam.
And there's a lot...
If there one exists.
So my question to you is, if you want to comment, because you seem to be implying at least that in your opinion, if you were that officer, that what she did...
And I wouldn't have done all what she did. But you swing on me and I'm an officer, you're not going to swing again if I can help it.
Watching the video. See, I didn't even watch it. So do you think watching this, the officer overdid it? Maybe a little.
Perhaps a little. But you know, I might have done the same thing. I don't condone it, but I understand it.
And you said...
Oh, I just said that, this officer went a bit over the line. I didn't say that for some reason people took my words out and put their own spin on it. I wasn't calling for the woman to lose her job or be suspended or anything. I just said, basically what Marcus Hines said, which is perhaps it could have been handled differently and perhaps... they could use some more training.
Okay, it fired people up.
Based on Erin's and or Matt's remarks yesterday, we got the following email.
You guys are morons. Have you ever been in a fight? The police officer is working a part-time job paid by Brookshire's. The job of the officer is to protect the store and its goods. A theft is a theft, no matter if it's a 35-cent piece of candy or 4 or 5 steaks. Good
thing it wasn't a 9-year-old.
If you resist... there is a continuum of force police use. First is presences, then voice, then taser or hands or pepper spray or other non-lethal means to subdue the suspect. When a person is struggling, it's very difficult to put on handcuffs. Tasing only has a very short effect, and a suspect can still resist after being tased. Let me move to the end of it here. If you haven't been there or done that, you have no idea what you're talking about. The comment by Ms. Lynch that the officer should not have tased the suspect is bull.
That's City Councilwoman Stephanie Lynch.
But she did defend the officer for using force, but still had to comment on that part of it. Police do not try to punish anyone in the field. It may look like it, But to get someone to comply is not as easy as it seems. Here you go, boys. On your radio show, you comment about the crime in the Shreveport area. In a way, this is why media's comments provoke crime. The criminal element knows everyone has cameras, and they will look like good guys for resisting, stealing, shouting obscenities, and other acts. But when they were brought to task by the underpaid people you hire to protect you, you throw the police under the bus with your comments.
Comments?
Passion. I love a police officer with passion. I love a police officer
from a
so
police
dead.
officer?
It has to be. It has to be somebody in that, or maybe somebody married to a police officer. I don't know. I love officers that have passion, and he or she is right. Unless you've been there, you don't know. And I know a lot of cops, and you swing on them.
Pardon me.
You've gone beyond.
No, well, what you just said was, if you're a policeman and somebody swings at you, all bets are off. What this email says is, no, that it's all controlled, it's all planned.
They have a continuum of force they use.
Exactly, but that's the total opposite of what you just said.
Well, I would use the continuum of force. I'd be punching you a minute, and then I'd pull out my taser, and I'd use that. I'd do whatever I had to do to get you in control.
If it is step A, B, C, or D,
I'd go through the motions, yeah.
And you would go all 4 steps.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Like I said, I'm not against, if a suspect is, being uncontrollable. Belligerent. Just, every once in a while you have to use force, but, officers are supposed to be better than I or Erin McCarty.
Mm-hmm.
I expect them, where I might just beat that guy senseless, I would like to see them use restraint and not, use foreign objects as a weapon.
If you haven't seen the video, by the way, you can find it on the website, keelnews.com.
And it's up on the Facebook page, and you can comment all you want.
Oh, yeah.
849, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Your money now is just a couple of seconds away. And let's do traffic right now. Ruben on the other side of the glass. Foggy though it may be, looks ready.
The intersection at Greenwood Road and Juella Avenue is dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now, and we're still keeping an eye on that backed-up traffic on I-20 westbound. Starting at Spring and Market, it's backed up past Benton Road right now. If you have anything to report to us, accidents, hazards, or closures, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Hot and humid for today with partial sunshine. The high 91. Clear low 73 tonight. Tomorrow, a little sun and a pop-up thunderstorm. High again 91. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Bill Degger.
American Ground with Louis Avalone and Stephen Parr is coming up from 6 to 7 right here on 1017 FM and 710 Keel. The Keel app. The Keel app. The Keel app. The Keel app.
Jennifer Kashinka with your money now. Stocks opening little change.
It is 8 before 9 o'clock. KEEL Sports. Here's Fletch.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. The Texas Rangers had a good night. Not only did they knock off Seattle 3-1, but the two teams ahead of them for the last wild card slot lost, pushing Texas within 3.5 games of a playoff spot with 12 games to play. Carlos Gomez came off the shelf and started an 8th-inning rally with a leadoff double. Shin Soo Choo broke a 1-1 tie with a sacrifice fly, and Elvis Andrus capped off the effort with a run-scoring single. Martin Perez started, pitched well, lasted 6 innings. Tony Barnett earned the win. Alex Claudio picked up the save. The AL West champion Astros continued their hot streak with a 3-1 win over the White Sox. Houston's 5th win in a row also keeps them a game and a half behind Cleveland for home field advantage in the American League playoffs. Jose Altuve homered, and former LSU star Alex Bregman had an RBI double to stoke the offense. Colin McHugh making his first start in 11 days after ripping a fingernail off his pitching hand on September 8th. Ouch. Worked 5 innings to get the win. Darius Geist missed his second straight practice with what Ed Orgeron termed a minor injury at the beginning of the week. LSU tries to rebound from Saturday's stunner in Starkville with a triumphant flogging of Syracuse in 3 days. Rashard Lawrence returned to practice and worked out in full pads as a sophomore defensive end tries to return to the field after suffering an ankle injury in the opener against BYU. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
.1017 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. It's 8:55. We don't have time for all of this morning. Just a couple of quick questions, and we can pursue and or expand tomorrow.
Yeah.
Has the Caddo Commission itself ever voted on the removal of the Confederate monument?
They did a vote earlier this week. It was 8-4.
I thought there were 12 guys. Okay.
Yeah, 8-4, a preliminary measure to remove the monument.
Have they ever done a binding? This is the final word. We are drawing the line in the sand, Colonel Travis.
This kind of is, but it's first reading. I mean, if you know government, they have measures that's on first reading, It's got to pass the first reading, then it's got to go to the second reading.
Yeah.
This one, I think, is now headed to second reading.
So what are there changes between the first and second reading?
Usually no.
Does this account for where the monument will go if they in fact vote to remove it, or does it just mean, is this something that they're going to remove in the cover of night like in New Orleans or in Dallas? There are so
We're
many,
looking at a vote on October 19th.
there are so many questions to be answered.
Coming up tomorrow morning, got a big day. We're going to talk with Bossier Mayor Lo Walker about the tax increase there. And Miles Hitchcock's going to join us. Really big, different perspective on this whole BRF University health mess.
It is 8:57. Back tomorrow morning, 6 till 9. Here's Kim Commando on KEEL.
The more we learn about the Equifax data breach, the worse it looks. It wasn't just one hack. There were two. Kim Commando with your Wednesday Consumer Tech Update. The first Equifax hack occurred back in March, a full 5 months before they told anyone. Equifax clearly hid that news, putting everyone at even greater risk of identity theft. Setting up an online account with the Social Security Administration is the one thing that you must do today. Start at the Social Security Administration's homepage. Create your own secure Social Security online account. Set the account to notify your cell phone or a second email address anytime that your account is accessed online. If someone other than you tries to get into the account, and because of Equifax it very well can happen, you can block all access to your Social Security records until you contact the Social Security Administration. No one can fully protect you from identity theft, but this is one more level of security that could help, and it's free. Our tech news is updated all the time at news.commando.com. That's KOMANDO.
Why just listen to the Kim Commando Show when there's so much more? Why not watch the whole show in high definition on your phone, tablet, or television?
This is so cool because you're so nice.
Or download the podcast in crystal clear digital audio. Watch or listen on your schedule, driving, exercising, or relaxing.
I have been following you for years, and you've made me pretty much the genius.
But Kim's Club is so much more. You also get security and data breach alerts, priority calling into the Kim Commando Show.
My favorite digital goddess. I'm so glad I get to talk to you.
And Kim's Club offers discounts for everyone over 50, former and current military, and all service personnel. It's never been more affordable to be a Kim's Club member. So stay up to date the easy and fun way. Because these days, you can't know too much about technology.
And it's like you're our friend on the radio, and I just think it's awesome.
Go now to club.commando.com. That's KOMANDO, club.commando.com.
Looking right now at some slow-moving traffic on Hearn Avenue near Milam Street. And we have some backed-up traffic on Benton Road just north of Shed Road due to a major accident. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Hot and humid for today with partial sunshine. The high 91. Clear low 73 tonight. Tomorrow, a little sun and a pop-up thunderstorm. High again 91.